Good afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to try and understand a customer. Understanding the modern shopper, unveiling motivations, preferences, and decision-making factors. Who is a shopper? So customer को समझना बहुत मुश्किल है, it's very difficult. But the day you understand it, you become a Senthil of the world, That's where the customer understanding is all about. But in the next 50 minutes, we are going to discuss what motivations, preferences, and factors are there to understand the modern shopper. But before that, we'll have to ask who is a modern shopper. And we'll come to all these questions quickly, but I would request my fellow panelists to give a short introduction about themselves, maybe in 1 or 2 sentences. We'll start with Bhaskar.
Thank you, Hitesh. Thank you, Chennai. It's nice to be here. Myself, D. Baskarmoorthy, I head Posiflex sales in India. Posiflex is one of the point-of-sale design and manufacturing company. We are globally 40 years old, and India we are 26 years completed. And most of the retail business, national or regional, does business through point-of-sale terminals. And we have major market share. Almost around 250,000 terminals. Globally, 3 million terminals has been used. Around 50 billion transactions has done in India. And we serve more than 10,000 unique customers. And close to around 1 lakh of crore has been transacted through our business. That's where we are. Thank you very much.
That's a lot of numbers, Niraj.
Good afternoon. I'm Niraj Jaipuria. I'm a founder at BIRetail. We help retailers make sense of data. So we are a specialty data analytics company only for the retail sector. I've been fortunate to be involved with the retail sector for about 16 years now, worked with hundreds of retailers. I won't quote numbers like Bhaskar does because our numbers are not that impressive. So, yes, we've learned a lot from retailers, and I think the value that we add is we like to claim that we are not a tech company. We just use technology to make business gains. Thank you.
Thank you. Vijay.
Thanks, Hitesh. It's my pleasure to be here and share the dais with you all friends here. Well, I'm Vijaya Darshan. I'm from Madurai. I'm into a family business, automobile business from 1935. I'm the 4th gen in automobile. And restaurants business, we are in restaurant business from 96. And in 2018, started a restaurant business again, Waalai Foods, which is of my family business. We are into catering as well. We are into home meal kits as well. So we have 3 entities in restaurant, and we have a coffee shop as well. So that's in large about me. And I'm also into food, fashion, fitness consultation. So that's about me. Yeah.
Thank you. Senthil.
Vanakkam, Chennai. Proud to be here. Thank you, Hitesh, for making part of this entire discussion. Senthil, Chief Business Officer, Dindigul Thalappakatti. 66 ವರ್ಷ legendary biryani brand. I'm proud to be part of that. Numbers in a year we sell approximately 70 lakh biryanis. That's the kind of a number we actually sell. This year probably we will try to create a Guinness record. That's the goal which we are actually looking at. And I'm proud to say that we are the largest and #1 biryani brand from the district called Dindigul. Thank you.
Thanks. Sushanto.
Hi, I'm Sushanto Dey. I'm in the footwear business, and I use BI as well, by the way. There's a lot of data for me to process, so I have other people doing it for me. And we are neighbors again, sir. Your biryani is off the hook. I don't get any lunch reservation at your place, so therefore I have not eaten there. I bring it home and eat it. I'm into the footwear business. We've been selling shoes from 1952. It was started by my grandfather. I'm the 3rd generation. I moved down south. We are predominantly on the eastern part of India, Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa. And I have moved down south to expand south. I've been here for the last 10 years and been a part of RAI for the past 4-5 years. Thank you.
Sushanto, I am also your customer. Huh?
Thank you.
Yeah. So we'll start with Senthil. The first question to all of you is, what do you see in today's world, in today's business environment, in today's retail, and in today's customer? How has the customer changed? Senthil, we start with you.
Thank you. First ball, opening batsman. Great. New age of customer. எல்லாரும் check பண்றப்ப பார்த்தீங்கன்னா majority of the people we actually search the customer outside, but I always feel that the customers within yourself. You know, I was actually talking in one of the conference. People are actually trying to do a survey to understand post-COVID how the customers are actually behaving. Then I was actually put in that one of the groups saying that boss, in our own group we have got close to 280 members, and how many of us actually did a survey of ourselves? So the fundamental thing is we ourselves are the customers. First, we have to understand us. So if you look at I look at the customer behavior post-COVID and pre-COVID kind of era. I think we have people here probably multi-generation, probably 8 years of gap I can actually see. Today's customers are extremely tech savvy, well connected. The retailers have to create content. So I was talking to one of my own friend who was in the media. I was telling him that retailers have to create content. Customers are currently consuming content. So whether you create a product, a shirt, trouser, be a tool or a biryani, at the end of the day you have to create content which can actually communicate to the customer. That's the number one thing which I would actually look at it. Number two, the customers today's scenario, they are all extremely opinionated. Once upon a time, I remember when Kumar Rajagopalan sir was my super boss, I was the retail manager in Shopper Stop. So we used to actually have something called PAKKA, Product Understanding for CCS. That used to be the thing. So training for people used to be the biggest thing. But today's scenario, actually speaking, you don't train people because the customers are trained. The customer knows what exactly you're going to come and buy. So whether you're buying a car, whether you're eating somewhere, whether you're actually searching for a product, people are looking for a content. So content reader, the guy who's actually consuming the content is today's customer, is extremely trendy, extremely informative, and extremely connected.
Content, communication, connected. Okay. So these were some insights that came from Senthil. We go to Sushanto. Sushanto, can you throw some light there?
Hello, yeah. See, 20 years back, we spoke about customers, the only people that came to our mind was the guys who were walking into our stores. Fast forward 20 years with the number of cell phones that we sold in India, now everybody with a smartphone is a customer. It took us a long time to understand this, but our e-commerce business has grown maybe 25% month on month, and it does probably well than last 10 of our stores, just on a month-to-month basis. So the customer per se has changed from brick and mortar to smartphones. And I totally give this thing to the technology that has come into retail, be it the softwares and the internet and the speed and the phone and everything. People are buying on the go, people are going on the bus. I have a store in T Nagar, people sit in T Nagar and order online in T Nagar, and they refuse to come here to the store. So anybody with a smartphone is the new customer these days.
Awesome insight. When we used to do 25 years back segmentation, I used to see, boss, mera shirt 500 रुपए का है, 1000 रुपए का है, 1500 का है. So this is the male segment, income, have a car, not have a car. These are the demographics, psychographic, etc. But today, anybody who has this machine in his hand is a customer. What a beautiful way to explain a customer. जिसके हाथ में स्मार्टफोन है वो कस्टमर है. Can you relate? उसके लिए दुकान होने की ज़रूरत है ही नहीं. You don't have to have a shop for making customers. Now everybody is a customer, and that's a beautiful insight, and that's the reality of this world. And that's where we'll come in the second part, why customers are coming to us or why our customers are going away. We'll go and ask the same question now to Vijay.
Post-COVID and pre-COVID, what we see in our industry majorly is, digitally engaging customer, the upside would be, digitally engaging a customer has become way easier. Even a novice knows how to pay, how to use Swiggy, how to convert a business in WhatsApp. So the customers are easy to handle digitally these days. So we also realize there's a pent-up demand. The sales are up and customer has this tendency of live the moment. So of late we see that as well when customer come and walk in. So these are few upsides, and they are more aware. They don't they don't confuse, neither they confuse us on what they want. So they are very, very clear on what they want. So all these are upsides of customer post-COVID might be what we see. I mean, all these have accelerated. Well, downside, yeah, the customers are much more demanding. Brand loyalty has become more volatile now. Initially, it was like a customer walks in thrice to a restaurant, then we are rest assured like he's going to repeat us. But now it's more than 5 times they walk in and you still screw up somewhere, I think you lose a customer. So the brand loyalty is more volatile now, what we see. And of course, reaching out customer through varied channels, it's becoming more costlier now. The marketing goes up because customer likes to be reached the way they wanted us to reach them. So that again adds up to the cost, the time, and all that. And the way customer reach out to us, there's no specific time. There were times post-COVID, it was 9 to 6 or 9 to 10 or whatever the customer reaches out to us for an order or something. Now it's like night 2 o'clock, they drop a message, WhatsApp message saying that, hey, I want an order for 150 packs. What's your call on it? So this is how it works. In spite of we opting whatever the chatbots or whatever we had been using, but this is how it's been happening of late. Bottom line, yeah, of course the customers are demanding. Of course they've been each and every time they experience, they wanted a different experience per se. They're very demanding on those lines as well. So yeah.
So Vijay added 2 more C's, clear. So clarity, customers are very clear what they want. In fact, they are most clear about what they don't want. So we should fall on the other side of what they want. And channels. So we should reach out through those channels which customers are accessing rather than throwing our communication to them through a particular channel that we are accessing. With that, I would like to go to Niraj.
I think the people on the panel have addressed most of the issues, so I'll just take a different perspective.
Please, please.
Right. While the customer has changed, one thing that has not changed about the customer, sorry if that was your next question, but one thing that has not changed about the customer is the customer always wants to feel recognized and important. Whatever you're selling as a retailer, whether you're selling food or you're selling footwear, that is one thing that has not changed. So everything that my esteemed panelists have said, loyalty is at its highest volatility right now, right? That is what Vijay said. That's only because he is so much more well-informed. He's done his research before he comes in here. The amount of time a customer spends in a store, I'm talking of offline at this moment, the amount of time the customer spends in a store has probably shrunken to a fraction of what he used to do, she used to do 5 years ago, 10 years ago. That's because she's already done her research before she enters your store. So being informed, because information is available, being informed is making the task more difficult for the retailers. There is no gap for complacency. And I think the more all of us as retailers focus on trying to recognize a customer, make her feel important when she walks in, I think is going to be one mantra for success.
Awesome insight, Niraj. What has not changed is recognition and importance, which is core to human nature and tendency. Bhaskar, your views on this, please.
Yeah, Hitesh, what happened, me as a Bhaskar, you as a Hitesh, doesn't change 20 years. Okay, the way that we represent ourselves is changed. So that's what the relevance to the retail is all about. So 20 years before, I don't think so I went to eat biryani so many times. I went to buy shoes so many times. Today, the same Bhaskar has changed to buy so many pairs of shoes. So many times we eat biryani. Okay, and again, every time you go to eat biryani, you not necessarily go to the same place. You like to have the choices. So the loyalty, yes, it is volatile, but end of the day, eating biryani becomes a loyal. Correct? Eating biryani becomes loyal. So, like a while back, Senthil has explained, we have to co-live together. So biryani as an outlet has to cater to me as a Bhaskar. Okay, and how do my taste buds are addressed? So that's the modern shopper for me. In the past, I am the same shopper, and today I become a modern shopper because I've been spoiled by the retailers' options. So the decision making becomes choice, preferences, so a lot of things are there. So hence, we need to infuse a lot of funds to manage this business. So end of the day, Vijay, you have no other choice. You have to go back to digital, invest something to retain the business. Not, of course, percentage of margin will differ, but invest something to go back to address this so-called modern retailer, modern shopper.
Modern shopper. So what is this, end of this first round in 15 minutes, what we have learned here is content, communication, highly opinionated. This is the customer. Smartphone is the customer. Channels, clarity, loyalty is down. Demanding customer. He wants recognition and importance also. He is very well informed also. And nothing has changed, but the representation has changed. अब ये सब में धंधा कैसे करने का, you know? So, but what Bhaskar said, if you look at that part, Bhaskar has not changed in 20 years. Same as Hitesh in the last 20 years. What has changed? My approach has changed. I'm using some small words like approach or whatever word you, but the way because I am consuming biryani, I'm wearing my shoes, it's just the approach, the way. Now, what motivates me? Now I'll come to the next question, that is for a retailer, and this is where I want Senthil and Sushanto and Vijaya to give more insights. How do you attract the customer? Now, if you reverse this, or if you follow whatever I have just told or what our panelists have told, you attract the customers. But the customer loyalty is going down. What choices retailers have? How do they approach and get this customer mindset? How do they capture that customer's mindset? Now we'll get into the details of a category, not as a customer. So biryani as a category, I would like to ask Senthil, what is your major problem, or what was your major problem, and how have you solved that problem? I'm talking only about biryani, no other category. So if you can ask or answer only to that part of your business, please.
Yeah. Post-COVID, if you look at pre-COVID, we were actually in a fantastic wicket to actually do. We were a leader. Post-COVID, the delivery business actually became the biggest. The Swiggy, Zomatos of the world were actually not there. So for example, pre-COVID, if you look at our delivery business, our own delivery used to be 17-18% of our business, and Swiggy, Zomato was very, very minuscule. So we are a dine-in customer. It is not a delivery or a takeaway business. It was a pure dine-in business. Post-COVID, we actually became a delivery business. So because of the restriction, whatever actually happened, the customer started looking at, having, it's like, reach me or reach out to me. It's like either you should be next to the customer's doorstep or you should deliver at the doorstep. There are two options which is actually there. So when we actually looked at post-pandemic, the customer, as the panelist was saying, the loyalties actually become product. Like you were saying, biryani. So I'm loyal to biryani. I'm not loyal to the brand. So I wanted to, so the loyalties actually shifted from brand loyalty to a product loyalty. So that's very, very important. So if you look at a retailer like me, currently I'm actually, once upon a time I used to be a hardcore Arvind fellow. Today I'm actually wearing every single product. What I'm wearing is different. Why I'm actually wearing different every single product? Because I'm becoming product loyal. I'm not a brand loyal. So when you become a product loyal, staying relevant and attracting customers become an extremely costly proposition. So the customer acquisition cost, CAC, what we call CAC, it's becoming extremely costly because the customer, you have to BI tool kind of a thing, what is there, you have to use that to understand the customer behavior, what he eats, what he cannot eat, how do I cross promote. For example, with the data what is available, for example, Hitesh is eating only biryani. Can I give an offer to make him to eat my kadai chicken or a peri-peri chicken or a gunfire chicken? So how do I cross promoting? So our acquiring the customer way is actually changed. So if you are not getting adapted to the customer behavior, you'll get outdated. So either you get adapted or you'll be outdated. That's the kind of a thing which we have to take. So if you are not going to get adapted to the customer behavior, you will be outdated and you have to try. So today if you look at one third of our business is from Swiggy, Zomato. So
from Swiggy
and Zomato. So without them, I can also imagine, without them I can't run my business. I would say, from the retailer's perspective, I'm actually more of an omni-channel business brand than the normal retailers.
So biryani is an omni-channel product for your brand. 1/3 of your business is from Swiggy, Zomato.
Yes, correct.
So how does this transition happen from 100% to 30%.
Yeah, so post-COVID, the customer actually started looking at, because more of a convenience. So I'm saying, as my panelists were saying, when the customer becoming a product specific, I know what product I'm supposed to buy. It's available on my mobile phone. I have to order and it's actually reaching me. So customer looked at a convenient as the biggest, motivating factor for the customer to order my biryani.
So I understood that, but why Thalappakatti? What have you done better? Or what were the challenges that you overcome that now 1/3 is online business for you?
Okay, so during the post-COVID, if you look at, during the COVID, there are lots of new age biryani brands came in. Okay, so it is about, again, taking the opportunity of online delivery. There are n number of brands which is actually coming. Because today, if you look at biryani as a brand, it's a huge opportunity because easiest to cook, easiest to serve, easiest to store, easiest to transport. So it's multiple factors which are available. So it has become it's a commodity. I say biryani is a commodity. So when so many brands are coming, we actually remain consistent in terms of our product quality. That makes the customer to keep coming back to you again and again.
So what Senthil said is, reach me or reach out to me. That's a great insight for any brand. Customer को reach करो या उसको communicate करो, reach out to them anyways. Product loyalty obviously has gone up, brand loyalty has gone down. So anybody who says कि I have lost business, the business has shifted somewhere else. क्योंकि shirt, trousers, biryani की ज़रूरत, everybody needs it. It is the customer who has shifted. This is the mindset. The first part we discuss about so many issues or the way it is happening. The customer has changed. Now he has changed from your store to the other store. Customer has not stopped eating biryani is what I'm trying to tell. And the last one is the 1/3 part is what he spoke about, and that was the post-COVID scenario, which is common to everyone across all the categories across the country. And we have seen that in apparel, we have seen that in electronics, we have seen that in that. But recently there was an article where the regional players or the local players have able to sustain, and they have been able to sustain on what parts? Senthil spoke about a couple of them. Now I'm going to ask Sushanto about the same. Sushanto.
Hi. So we started off as a footwear brand. A pure footwear brand. We only made shoes, chappals, nothing else, because we didn't have the know-how to make anything else. And then people started telling us, you should have belts, you should have wallets. Fast forward 50, 60 years, 40% of our business comes from belts and wallets. And I don't know the numbers, we sell school bags and leather bags and ladies' handbags and all that too. That 40% of that comes, but we are still known as footwear brand. And when it comes to categories, I would like to take an example of Mr. Sadiq here, Chai King. I used to order chai from him all the time. At that point in time, he had only had chai. Then slowly, he added samosas, he had a little bit snacks, and he used to give it free of cost.
Did he have biryani also?
No, he doesn't have biryani.
Yet.
Biryani, Mr. Senthil, there is no place in your stores. I went to Bangalore one time for a store visit, and the guy told me, let's go to Thalappakatti. I thought I was lucky I was going to get to eat there. There was a throng of people outside your store in Bangalore also. So I have never got a chance to eat, then I should move to Zomato. So if I didn't start selling belts, and now as you know, all the Louis Phillips and all the other clothing brand, they sell shoes, only a part of it, a formal category part of it. And they sell belts as well. Triple the price. So we make sure to true to a value that we keep the price, which is affordable, and that's been working for us. So associated with footwear, whatever we can sell, we do sell, which is made out of leather. And it is doing fantastic. 40% is, the number speaks for itself.
That means you are still known as a footwear brand. 40% is non-footwear. But half of your business is non-footwear.
Yeah.
So this is the brand pull is what I call. Sreeleathers still, you are here because of the footwear brand.
Yes.
But now I came to know that 40% is non. So we can have him for the accessories panel also next time, but still you will be known as Sreeleathers.
Yeah.
So we go to Vijaya now. Vijaya, you can share your insights, please.
Hitesh, if you don't mind, if you just come back on the question again. I've just lost track on the question. I mean, the insight of the questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll rephrase the question for you. How have you managed the challenges of the changing consumer today?
Okay, well, yeah. So what in Waalai, what we do is, I'm not sure whether it's right or wrong, but like we don't focus on any specific product. Rather, we try to address the emotional quotient of the buyer. Like the saying goes, I mean, no diet fails just because somebody doesn't have the willpower or the control. The diet fails because the emotional needs are not being met. So on those lines, we strongly believe if rather just not by just doing a good food or a good portion of food at great price, I mean, that alone doesn't suffice. So what we try to address is we try to feed their feelings. So we try to address the emotional needs. So when it comes to emotional needs, what we specialize is on comfort and wellness. So comfort here is, what I mean is, it's more to do with the common food, like the home food, what you guys have. So end of the day, like, now we have a multi-cuisine, we have a traditional South Indian cuisine. What sells the most is, be it the idlis, the parathas, the biryanis, the fried rice, I mean, the meals, so which actually relates to the region sells the most. So we try to address that. So people who have our food, they feel at home. So that's one emotion which we try to address. Another is wellness. After COVID, there's one plus thing which really caught up is, so pre-COVID it was Latin and Greek for people when you talk about diet, fitness and all that, but COVID really accelerated that for us as well. So when you eat something, you need to feel energetic. You shouldn't feel lethargic, or you shouldn't feel sleepy, or you shouldn't have some indigestion. So people who have our food, they don't have all these issues. So this wellness quotient is well addressed enough. So we focus on these two emotions and we ensure the customer is taken care on these things. And for us, the loyalty is upon all these two emotions rather than any specific product. I'm not sure whether we should have done on a specific product, which has been a proven model now, like Thalappakatti is for biryani, Paradise is for biryani. I mean, you name it, Chai Kings, they are for chais and all that. But okay, we are on the process of it. Of course, people come for other emotions as well to restaurants, like having the sense of belongingness, because anything can happen over food. So across geography, people connect over food, so that's an emotion. Some people like to be adventurous. They like to tap on exploring cuisines. And in fact, food has become the new fashion of late. So people like to try out new trends. So there's various emotions on that, but we in large focus on comfort and wellness. So that's our core niche, how we go out with brand loyalty and stuff like that. And of course, purpose is catching up. People are nowadays are more concerned, like what kind of food they eat, in what plate it's been served. Are these guys are more concerned about the nature, environment, sustainability? All that's also adding these days. So
thanks,
yeah.
Vijay. Niraj, how can a retailer, get access, or how can he come to to insights? How can he get these insights about what the customer wants or how the consumer is changing in his or her organization? It's a very common question, but it's not that common because Niraj specializes in insights. How can a brand decode the customer experience or customer behavior?
So we've done a fair amount of work in this particular space. I think like Hitesh said, it's a very common question every retailer would like answered. What is the next thing my customer would like to buy? Very common question, very difficult answer. It's like perfection. You keep striving to get to 100%, but of course you'll never get to 100%. I'll give you an example of what we've done for a particular retailer of ours. So I think somebody on the panel mentioned that I think Sreeleathers was always selling footwear, but now they've moved into leather accessories as well, right? While that is a great thing to add to your portfolio, the question is, who's that customer who is a wallet customer compared to a clothes, footwear, shoe customer compared to a belt customer, right? So there is ample amount of data that all of us collect as a retailer. It is the ability to harness that data. If you shop on Amazon or Flipkart and you add an item to your cart, you will often see sections on Amazon, Flipkart which says you may also like, and customers who bought this also bought, right? What is that? That is basically recommendation engines. This is very popular with online retail. What we have done is we have taken this algorithm of recommendations even to offline retail. So we have a customer who's using personalized recommendations on our offline, on their offline store. The process is very simple. You as a customer put 5 items in your cart. You come to the cashier. The cashier will ask you your mobile number, will scan the 5 items. At that point, that POS system is connected to our cloud-based recommendation system. And these 5 items that are scanned in the cart, along with the loyalty number, goes to our recommendation engine, which is on the cloud. And the next 5 best options pop up on the screen of the cashier. Now, one thing we have to understand as retailers, that you will never get 5 chances to make recommendations to the customer. So it's very important what that first item and the second item is, because at best, you can ask the customer, would you also like this? Next, if you're lucky, you can ask the second time, but you will never go beyond that list of 2. So the accuracy of that recommendation is really what makes a difference. There are customers who come to Sreeleathers and buy footwear and have been buying footwear for the last 45 years and have never looked at the belts and wallets. They will never look at a belt or wallet. And at the same time, there could be another similar profile customer who comes to Sreeleathers, buys footwear for the last 45 years, but today decides to also buy a belt, right? So there is this term which we call cognitive bias, which is very difficult to understand. Data science actually struggles over there. However, there are techniques even in data science to neutralize the cognitive bias, and that is where the accuracy increases. So I think what is important at some point is, to be sure you've built your model correctly. As far as retailers are concerned, honestly, this is a very specialized area, and you should work with somebody who knows what they're doing. But once you get that hang right, I think your upselling opportunity increases massively.
Thanks, Niraj. Bhaskar, your views on this, please. What Niraj spoke about were decision-making factors, and we'll ask all our 4 other retail panelists about these decision-making factors. Bhaskar, you can give your views, and then I'll introduce Pratik as well.
Yeah. Hitesh, for me, what happened is Bhaskar remains same, but Bhaskar purchasing capabilities has increased. The number of times I buy biryani is increased. The number of times I buy the shoes got increased. In the past, you would run with one shoe for almost 3-4 years, then until it worn out, you don't change. Today, you buy different brands, because that's why Sreeleathers getting into accessories, or some other accessory brand getting into the shoes. That's why the Louis Philippe and other brands comes into picture. Cross-selling of these accessories becomes common. And how do I get these insights of the customer buying behavior of non-core products? Okay, that becomes a critical. So that's something is, as a retailer, I think many of you would have done experiments in the past with your own intuition, or learned from elsewhere or other market, doing a R&D. So I would call retail, you have, like manufacturing, you have R&D to get into the new products, get into the new regional area or a new venture that you want to do. In the retail, this is one kind of an R&D that you need to do. Experiment within your store. What is understanding your customers? How do I expand it beyond my core business? In all this thing, I do it to retain the 60% of my original shoe business. 40% accessories is done to retain my core business of accessories, because that is my manufacturing plant. I set it up. So to sell my biryani, I will also set tomorrow, possibly Senthil Thalappakatti, you will have a shirt selling over there, or possibly something else, cap selling over there, or some other accessories, you will end up selling it. Okay, how do I get the customer insights? Okay, so today the customer insight, as Niraj said, it's not only capturing those information at the point of sale, but also during the process of selling it. So that's where a lot of AI and other technologies are done. So from our point of view, the number of terminal business has also gone up. The moment 30% of Thalappakatti business has gone up toward online deliveries. So that you need to put additional couple of terminals, so that puts pressure on us that, hey, look, two machines is okay. Today I'm buying 5 machines. What options I have? So I need to come up with innovation of cost optimization onto that. So it's just not lying with one, it's across the ecosystem that the things are getting changed. And we need to understand when the customer is changing it. And there are a lot of technology available to get the insights of customer journey process. So in the online, yes, you have abandoned carts and things like that. If it's an online, then how do I capture the customer information during the process of purchase, during the process of eating, by looking at it, oh, what is he looking at it? Can I capture that moment? Can I capture that information so that I put back into the system? There are a lot of technologies available, AI solutions, video analytics are available to collaborate along with you to make some of these informed decisions. In the past, it's all intuition based. Today, the technology is assisting. There are a lot of startups are there to do that.
So we spoke about brands which are 80 years old, 50 years old, 30 years old. And what Bhaskar says is initially it was intuition based or experience based. Today it is data driven, data based. That means capturing the information not only during, but pre, during and post. And this is where you will be able to retain the customer because the customer is changing. Customer, kidhar hai customer? So we'll have to keep a track of that customer. And one of the parts that we discussed was that 40% or 30%. 30% is online. That means the behavior has changed. Again, 40% for Sreeleathers is non-shoes. That means again the behavior is such that the brand Sreeleathers has such an impact that he is ready to buy the associated products also. We did mention about the Chai Kings brand here. Will Chai Kings get into biryani in future? No? Not now. That means it is not no. He is not telling no. He is telling not now. And this is the reality of life. But that doesn't mean you should always understand between core competence and diversification. Now what here in Sreeleathers we are looking at is concentric diversification in the sense shoes hai, belts hai, wallets hai, bags hai, all those are related items, so on and so forth. So we all understand this better. But still the parent brand Sreeleathers is there. And that's where a strong brand also comes into the picture where the customer or the consumer will not move away. We have with us Pratik. He was late. He had messaged us that he would be coming late. But Pratik, we would like to have a short introduction of 2 lines about Specsmakers. And then I'll ask you a particular question on how the customer has changed.
Yeah, thanks and good afternoon everybody off and on the dais. Apologies of being late. I was just getting into another meeting and I had pushed my presentation to 4:30, but since Hitesh sir saw me, he said, why don't you just jump in? And I'm never a very planned speaker. I'm always very impromptu. And let me introduce myself. I'm Pratik Shah. I'm the founder CEO of Specsmakers. Specsmakers is one of India's largest affordable eyewear retail chains. We are based in the south across 5 states, about 270 stores. We are completely a company-owned, company-operated model. We basically focus on the target consumer who's looking at economy and premium economy. We are not for the luxury. We are more in for the middle-class Indian. Yeah, thank you.
So Pratik, my first question to you is, since we are talking about, understanding the modern shopper, unveiling motivations, preferences, and decision-making factors, this is the title. Can you tell us how has the customer changed in your business, particularly in the specs business, over the last couple of years?
I think eyewear as a category has evolved over a particular lot of time, right? 20 years ago, wearing eyewear was a taboo. If you've got glasses, it's like, oh my God, right? But today, eyewear has become a style statement. It's become an accessory. It's become a functional product. And eyewear today has become a need of the hour. Earlier, if there were in a room 10 people, 3 were wearing glasses. Now 10 out of 10 need them because people who don't even need glasses wear zero power glasses when they sit on the computer because the kind of exposure you have to radiations. But for me, according to any business, a customer is basically a solution seeker and we are only solution providers. And a customer's problem changes over time. I mean, it might be price, it might be design, it might be what is the solution that the customer looks at. So what I tell my people in the stores is a customer walks into your store is looking for a solution. He's got a particular problem. If he or she is walking inside a garment store, he might be looking for a suit for a wedding. He might be looking for a particular color of a suit. If he's coming into a jewelry store, he might be looking for a particular design of jewelry. If he's going into a restaurant, he might be looking for a light meal versus a heavy meal. If he's going into a Sreeleathers, he might be looking for a formal shoe versus a casual shoe. A customer is looking for a solution. Our job is to provide the plethora of solutions to the customer at the right price point and at the right experience for the consumer. I mean, today the consumer, 10 years ago, customer did not really bother about experience inside the store. Today, an experience inside the store is very important. It is like going to a movie. 10 years ago, people were visiting the normal theaters, but today everybody wants to visit a PVR and an INOX. And the customer does not mind paying up slightly. He's becoming aspirational. He feels, yes, I want to fly an Indigo today versus an XYZ airline because he's aspirational. A customer does not mind jumping up the curve in wanting to see an aspiration that I really went to that. I think customer is becoming more and more affordable rather than looking for more and more affordability.
Okay, customer is becoming more affordable rather than looking at affordability.
Affordability. I think the customer is okay to pay up that extra 10-20% because he's okay to be aspirational and there's a pride in him that I went and ate at Thalappakatti, I went to XYZ brand, I went to XYZ. Like a customer who cannot afford a Zara, there's a Zudio for them today.
Yes.
But tomorrow, that Zudio customer will go to a Zara when he becomes affordable to a Zara.
Yes.
And the customer is migrating.
Pratik, you have 270 stores across 5 states. What is the major pain point from a customer perspective that you face?
A customer is never honest in telling his problem. You have to find out.
Okay. And how do
you
you
ask
solve
any
this?
customer,
Subhashji?
whatever the problem is, you'll have to ask 10 people, then you'll get the common problem. But one customer will never tell you the problem for the others.
Okay. So how do you what is the solution to this problem?
We do a lot of focus groups.
Lot of?
Focus groups.
Okay, can you please tell us about what a focus group is all about?
So focus group is basically, calling in 10 of your customers to one particular store, putting up across a questionnaire and telling them, what do you think about this product? 8 out of 9 times, the customer is wrong. So then you go into different focus groups, and then the commonality between the focus group is you get the common answer. So we basically, what we do in a focus group is, if there's a particular design to be launched, we will tell them, okay, these are the 5 designs launched. Please prioritize these designs what you want. And the one that we like will be the least, where the customer likes will be completely different. So you'll be sometimes surprised. The customer surprises you.
And you go with the customer or your choice?
No, we then see what is the average rating coming across.
Okay.
You can never see what you want to buy and you want to wear cannot be the same as what you want to buy and you want to wear. So we have to fulfill the customer's need. I mean, I might like a particular style of frame. It might look good on me, but am I my customer? No.
So, in market research, focus groups are very important. And,
and we do that like on a quarterly basis.
Quarterly basis.
You can do it over the phone call, you can do it in person, you can hire agencies. But I think doing a focus group and market research is very important. Even if you have to do a small change in price, like moving away from X to Y price, even though the deviation is say 5%, we will go to the customer and ask them, what do you think will? Because the customer's mindset changes a lot. It changes a lot. We wanted to move from a price of say 1990 to say 2000. We did a focus group.
10 rupees ke liye?
Yes, we did a focus group. No, it's not about 10 rupees. It's about a 1990 looks more cheaper than a 2000.
A Bata pricing.
Okay, 8 out of 10 customers said keep it 1990. Don't make it 2000. Like a 399 looks cheaper than a 400 rupees.
Agreed.
Right, like a Burger King and KFC. So I think that 9 in the end keeps you in the pre-decade area rather than in the post-decade area. I mean, it's customer sentiment, it's mindset.
And what technology you use to get this customer understanding?
So, unfortunately, I mean, I might deviate from these people. I'm not a tech guy.
No, in the sense we don't want to get, but any...
so we use our own team of people.
Okay.
We have about 8 to 10 of audit people who will stand outside the store with a questionnaire. And after a customer comes out, we will ask them, sir, what do you think about this store? It's our own store they went to, but we will still ask them a questionnaire. They will fill it up. It's a Google form. They will fill it on a particular tab. So we'll have live data to see as to what the customers felt about this store. So for all our 270 stores, we have a store rating matrix, a balanced scorecard.
So Niraj would like to comment on this part. Before that, I would like to add, this is a typical, and this topic is a market research topic, understanding consumer behavior, consumer research, and all those stuff. And what Pratik is talking about, focus groups, taking forms, and getting the customer feedback, all this has to be done at an extremely regular interval so that you are in touch with your customer and their changes and their preferences. 10 rupee, and I think, yes, that 9 at the
I think retail is not a boardroom business. There's no job for a CEO sitting in the boardroom.
Okay.
If you have a CEO sitting in the boardroom, fire him. It's about being at the ground level. Yeah, it's all about detail. I mean, you cannot sit in a boardroom and say, iska store badal do, uska signage badal do, kuch nahi hone wala.
Before I come to Sushanto, Niraj, your take on this part from an analytics perspective.
No, so I couldn't agree more with Pratik. I think what he mentioned about the focus group, right? There are different people with different choices. So individual bias comes in. I spoke about that. The best way to remove bias, I'm talking more data and statistics here, is to increase the data population. So I think what what he says is we do focus groups in every store and do it multiple times and across geographies. I think the more data you calculate, the more data you capture, the bias reduces and you take your common factors, your LCMs essentially to get there.
Senthil has raised a hand, then we go to Sushanto.
Yeah, probably focus group is fantastic, but doing it on a physical is more outdated. Today, what Niraj is saying, you got enough of data with you. If you create a proper and a right cohort, for example, the guy who actually eats biryani eats 1, 2, 3. The guy who eats biryani does not eat 1, 2, 3. The guy does not eat biryani eats 1, 2, 3. So if I create a cohort and create a right thing, what he says is, no, it's completely outside. I'm doing a devil's advocate. You cannot say that all the customers are wrong. The customers are right. The customer knows what he wants. He's not honest with you because he's not trusting you. If you are not trusting you, I will not be honest. Let's be very clear on that, okay? So if I got enough data, if I do a right cohort, right tools, and right analysis, I can do a fantastic business. So it is not about doing a focus group since 1947. Today's scenario, it's all about data, data science, analytics, AI, artificial. This is what is driving the business. So if any retailer want to become bigger, scale, stay relevant, you have to be data-driven and analytics-driven.
Done. Sushanto, your views, please.
We started analyzing data lately when the whole data analysis thing came in. I'm still in the process of learning it, thanks to BI. They throw so much data every week that I started meeting them only once a month. And even that's too much for me. When it comes to the flow level, an interesting thing happened to us. Happened to me actually. I walked into a store, then one guy was complaining about something, then I asked him what happened. Well, I've been wearing the same shoes for the past 10 years. I was a student then, and I got a nice job, then I got a hike, then I am going abroad now. I want some fancy shoes, but I don't want to pay 15,000 rupees for it. Why don't you launch a premium brand? So what we realized is, out of fear for 1990 to 2000, we had premium brands, never branded it separately. So immediately we sub-branded to something called SL Premium and made a separate display for it, and we started installing it in all our stores. And then when I asked my sales guys, well, yeah, this happens all the time, but they never told me or brought it to any management anywhere. Then I called up, most of my stores are franchise, so I don't manage it myself. Then I started calling up the guys, do you see this problem? Yes, yeah, people do ask for better products. They are willing to be affordable towards the next level. And that's why we started. Now, the problem is we are not able to produce those many premium shoes because they take about so much time to make. It's handmade. And we are outselling it before we can receive it. So we have stopped marketing for it also. We have stopped advertising also so that we can have it in our stores. Till now, I think only about 80% of my stores have received it. And we are always running in a deficit.
Okay, so next question is to all the 4 retailers out here. How many percentage of your customers come back? And those who are not coming back, what will be your strategy to get them back? Out of 10, if 5% are coming back and 5 are not coming back, so I want to know what is that percentage that is coming back, and जो नहीं आ रहे वापस उसके लिए what will be your strategy or what is your strategy currently to retain those 5 guys who have been your customers?
See, when we talk of retailers of this stature over here, everybody has a set standard of customers. They might or might not be physically present to walk into a store. Like in case of me, if I want to talk about this, I want to talk about for the past 10 years. In 10 years, one guy might want to buy a pair of shoes from other brand just to test it. Maybe he has a little bit more money, or somebody else is buying it for him, or is getting married. But I call it the bread and butter business. My black leather shoes is bread and butter. When it comes to bread and butter, they'll come back to me. They do want to go have the biryani at Thalappakatti once in a while, and they want to come back to me. Second is, if you really want to go ahead, online is the way. You can reach anybody and everybody online as long as you are doing what you're supposed to do, which is data analytics again.
Senthil.
Unlike other retailers, Specsmakers or a leather shoe where the frequency of consuming the product is very, very less, our business is, you can actually eat biryani every day, every week, every month. So that's the kind of thing. So today, if you look at our business, almost 67% of my customers are repeats. That's
67% is
percent of
repeat.
my customers
Very
actually repeat. And if I take my Swiggy Zomato, the online deliveries, close to 74%. So 3/4 of my customers, they do the repeat order in my system. So that's the kind of a thing which is actually there. And the highest ordered or eaten item is, of course, it is, biryani.
3/4 means 75% is repeat business from the customers. So for balance 25, what will be your strategy?
So there are, we do lots of analytics in terms of, we create lots of cohorts to understand, and we actually create, we actually basket into each of the customers. For example, there are customers who actually one-timers who visited, say, 10 months back, and we try to give them some kind of an offer. So we create,
Okay.
what offer will actually make them to,
Offers,
create.
promotions, etc.
Yeah, promotions, offers to make them comfortable.
Yeah, Vijay.
So that they can come back, yeah.
Thanks, Senthil. Vijay.
Well, Hitesh, for us, it's 80% retention. So customers who are comfortable with us, happy with us, with our food, comfort food, they stick on to us. The customer which we usually tend to miss out is people who look out for an experience or adventure, who wants to try out a different cuisine. But even those customers, they come back to us, but they come twice a month like that. So their count goes down, their reputation goes down. Otherwise, I think now that we are majorly into comfort food and wellness, I think on a day-to-day basis, like most of our customers are doctors, women who are working. We have elderly people, so we have home meal kits and all that. So our customer segment is well defined. People who are into fitness and all that. So we have a certain set of food which keeps going to them. So these are the customers who usually retain to us and who give the major chunk of business to us as well. People who try out, they do come to us, but yeah, their reputations goes down. Yeah, so that's what happens.
Sure. Pratik, yours.
You're very lucky to have 67% and 66% repeat customers. I mean, the category is such that food is consumed every day. Our category is such that people buy once in 12 to 14 months. The repeat purchase is quite, so for us, we understand the customer coming and buying second time when the second purchase is made. So I think transitionally for us, a very high industry average, we are at 33% repeat customers and 67% of customers are new. Of the 33% repeat customers, we still have customers that go into hibernation. Hibernation is some customers not come to you for more than 2 years. So we basically try to do some targeted advertising to them, basically see which pin codes around which stores they were and try to do what can we really kind of create some kind of aggressive marketing for them so that these customers walk into our stores. So that's the way we look at it. And the only way to get your repeat customer is, basically do a targeted advertising and targeted marketing to them. Today, WhatsApp and SMS is the closest. I think nothing else works better. So we have unique coupon codes that are sent out to the customers, where then we know if the customers come back post the coupon code generation, we know that we've acquired this customer. So we work at about 33%. So.
Good. Now we are hardly 7 odd minutes. I would like to have the final word from all our panelists about, what would be their advice to all the retailers out here from understanding the modern shopper or the customer perspective. So you can give an advice from, either, retention, targeting, understanding, and it can be succinct. We don't want, most of this has been discussed here, but this will be your final thoughts, the summary of what you feel should the retailer today do to understand the customer and understand the modern shopper and make him your customer. We can start with any one of you. What is the advice that you guys give? Yeah, Vijay.
Well, as per me, I would say if you could identify the emotional quotient, of a customer, be it in your marketing, if your customer do a likable marketing, then you're halfway through. Moment a customer likes your marketing or advertisement, they immediately build a trust on your brand. And if your advertisement, if you could do a marketing where it emotes a sense of feeling that you understand your customer, then again the customer connects in no time. And everybody has to remember, marketing, it's actually you're adding to somebody's emotion which they already have a perception on your product or a brand. So you have to be very aware of their starting point, like what you need to send out.
Exactly.
It's not that you're sending out something very neat, clean to somebody's head which has no image on you or the product. So they already have some image on you or your product. So you have to understand that emotional quotient before you do something. So that way you have to generate your marketing strategy as well. You should know the starting point of what is the emotion is, what is your customer.
Thanks Vijay. Niraj.
I have 2 points. One is you need to act early as a retailer. So like Pratik said, I think the others also mentioned, you've got to identify churn as early in the cycle as possible and act on it as early. There are very, very simple analytics available. It's no rocket science. You can do it on Excel as well. But try and identify customers whose repeat cycle has gotten exceeded and reach out to them with appropriate, relevant marketing campaign. So if I'm a customer who only buys full price, latest fashion wear, let's say at an apparel fashion retailer, it's almost a waste sending me SMSs talking about the end of season sale. Because if history says that I never buy at discount, then try and be smart about what messaging you send me. So this was one. The other thing that I would recommend we've actually implemented is try and understand the customers who you're losing even before they became a customer. It's a bigger challenge technically, but online, if you have somebody visiting your e-com website, even if the person does not do a transaction, there is a very high chance you can recognize the customer or identify the customer and use that information, use that data to find out how many of customers actually walked into your store, whether it's a physical store or an e-store, and did not transact, because that is essentially the modern version of doing focus groups in terms of marketing, etc. So I have these 2 points.
Sushanto.
So much has been said.
Final words, please.
Again, I would like to go back to Chai King again. Why? Because I've been using that brand for the past 10 years. So when, let's say about 10, 15 people come to meet me, the way they pack their tea in the carton boxes, they give extra cups, they give extra sugar, they give napkin, and the volume of and it remains hot for a long time. And Chai King is right on North Osman Road, I'm on South Osman Road. I can call from tea from the shop next door, I can have it made in my office, or maybe black coffee, whatever. But emotionally, I'm connected to Chai King. Now the samosas are damn good as well. So Chai King has been able to emotionally connect with me. Therefore, I've been a recurring customer for them. Maybe I haven't ordered in the past 5 months because I haven't been going to work in 5 months or whatever, I've been traveling or whatever. But emotionally, Chai King has connected to me. Because the basic chai was very good. When they started it, it was very good.
So that
no
was
marketing,
the
no
product
nothing.
That made that connect, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Senthil.
So I would say 3 things for any business, whether it's food business or retail business, to be there. One, you should create an opportunity or the reason for the customer to keep coming back to you again and again. So if there is no reason, if you're not creating an opportunity, the customer will not actually come, because there is somebody else's keep creating opportunity. So you have to keep creating opportunity or the reason for the customer to actually keep coming back to you again and again. That's number 1. Number 2, you have an opportunity created, but how do I actually stay connected with the customer? How do I connect or communicate with the customer? And last is, how do I stay relevant for what is actually happening in current scenario? So if I'm not relevant, the customer will not choose you. If I'm staying relevant, the customer will choose you. So stay relevant, stay connected, and create opportunity for the customers to come back to you.
Excellent. Bhaskar.
Yeah, we started with biryani, so if you don't end with biryani, it won't be nice. So it's like a biryani. You have 10 biryanis at the same place. At a given one lunch, you ask one person to go and eat. Definitely, you cannot eat all 10 biryanis, okay? But the moment you see biryani, the one person, most of the time you might have noticed, you take one plate full. Though you have 10 in front, but you will take the plate full. It is the data and analytics is something like that. Okay, so you have so many and you really, everybody is doing it, I have to do it, like omnichannel, everybody is online, I have to be online. So you end up in doing which is not important, then you eat one biryani, then finally you see, oh, other 3 biryanis or 9 biryanis, I didn't have it. So data analytics is something like that. You need to know what is relevant for your business, take the 2-3 KPIs and then do that. So that again, I stopped giving mobile phones in this retail outlets nowadays. Okay, all the 4 retailers will hate me. The reason being, by Friday to Sunday, you will at least have 20 to 30 times of your SMS, your WhatsApp would have gone up. Okay, 5 people would have called up. So it is also one way, yes, you want to be pampered and things like that, but end of the day, you don't want to be intruded too much. So that's my take. So we try to do so many things, but end of the day, consumer will go away from there at some point of time. So we need to understand who, as Niraj said, you need to know what you need to relevant to give. So today the customer is not with 1,000 or 10,000, he is capable of everything. But at what time and what interval you give is important. So let us not eat all 10 biryanis at the same time.
Thanks, Bhaskar. Pratik.
Sorry, Hitesh, what was the question?
Your final comments.
So I think you have to make your customers your stakeholders. So I'll tell you what we did at Specsmakers very closely. I don't know if my team is over here, but 6 to 8 months ago, I think everybody takes Google review in your stores, right? Yeah. So we used to just have customers to the store. We used to tell customers, so why don't you give us a Google review? And they used to like, yeah, I will give you a Google review. And you have to make that staff responsible at the store to get you the Google review. So what we did is basically, once we implemented Salesforce, we put in a Google review QR code at a store level at every store, okay? And we used to get an average of 400 to 500 Google reviews in a month across stores, because customer will go home and give a Google review when he wants. Simple thing we did, we linked the incentive of the store to the Google review. We now average get 20,000 Google reviews a month. So your customer becomes your stakeholder. So when a customer is going to talk about you on Google review, it is very clear that another customer, so my store competition is my other store. So in Mylapore we have 5 stores. I keep telling my staff, it's not a Lenskart or a Turakia or a Titan which is your competition. It is another Specsmaker store which is your competition. So when a Specsmakers is being searched in Mylapore, the customer is going to see which Google reviews are better. So your competition is your own neighborhood store which is Specsmakers again. So try making customers your stakeholders and try bringing this as a practice inside the store, because they will give an honest feedback. Whether they give 1-star rating or 5-star rating, it's our job to just go over it and see. That's another type of focus group where customers will tell, my billing time was extra in the store. I love the entire experience, but billing time was extra. I could have got my products in 3 days instead of 5 days. So those are the kind of insights you'll get, and we go over them on a weekly basis. Yeah.
Thank you, Pratik. With that, we come to an end to this session. The final comments, I have just written a couple of them. Emotional quotient, be emotionally connected with customers, but with those customers who have perception about your brand. That is very important. You can't be emotionally connected with everyone. First, they should have some perception, and that should be positive. Analytics, reach out to those customers who haven't even purchased yet, was the point Niraj gave. Understand the customer, buyer, losing him. Okay. Understand the customer whom you have lost, and by emotional connect, again, that was something which came up. Create an opportunity for the customer to come back. Again, excellent. आपके पास ऐसा product या service ही नहीं है कि customer वापस आएगा, तो you have lost the customer forever, and that first impression also speaks. Now, one thing that was emotional connect was the product, which is the core. That emotional connect or any other connect or any other data will come if your product at the core is good, best, then only things will happen, and then you can build upon that. If product is not good, then you are nowhere. Stay connected, stay relevant. Data is very important. Keep aside non-important things. सब लोग ऐसे कर रहे, तो you also should do the same thing, is not what these guys have also told. Non-important things for your business. For his business, it may be right, but for the others, it may not be. So you should not do those things which is not important to and core to your business. And customers as stakeholders is what Pratik said in last. Ultimately, in today's world, customer has to become a stakeholder. वो कैसे stakeholder बनता है, that's up to us. Google reviews is an excellent form of creating customers a stakeholder. 400 to 20,000 is a classic example. With this, we come to an end to this session of consumer behavior, understanding the modern shopper. Thank you, panelists, for sharing your insights. Thank you very much.